Can I change my results? Yes, I can, based on the processes that I've put in place. Now, how do I then go about like changing the result? I base it all from the trades that I've taken. So if I see a consistent thing that is in my trading plan that is causing me to lose, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that thing out, or that component of my trading plan. I'm going to take it out and I'm going to shift it. So you're already making those adjustments to become a better trader. The questions would then be, do I follow the processes, and am I sticking or staying true to the process of becoming a profitable trader?
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Modern Day Trader channel. I'm Sam, with me is Marcy, and it feels like it's been a while, to be honest, since we've done one of these. It has been, my G, I think like a good 2 or 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Bro.
It's been a minute. I mean, we've been busy though. We've been just releasing, I think, every week our weekly reviews, our prop firm sort of challenge journeys, which, given everything that's happening in the prop firm space right now, is just wild. So guys, do take a look at that because it's really testing, I think, the transparency. And if you haven't already, just take a look at some of those. But today, I think we're getting back into our Q&As, which I'm really keen to do, it feels like, and we haven't done this for a while. And I think being the end of the month, the end of the quarter, I just thought it was fitting to ask you, Marcy, what or how should someone go about reviewing the end of the quarter? Or, not the end of the month, the end of the quarter. Maybe how do you review the end of the quarter, just in terms of positions that you've taken over the quarter? What are you looking for? What are you looking at? How are you moving forward? But then, as well as then just integrating other parts of your life into that quarterly review, what does that process look like for you?
Okay, that's quite a hefty question. I think with regards to trading, like, you really need to have your plan firstly. Once you have your plan and your goals is in place and everything's in place, because really what you're doing is, as much as you're reviewing the trades that you've taken, you're reviewing the fact that you've set your goals in place for the quarter. And to me, it's not necessarily just going over the trades, because the way I am, I review my trades every 20 trades. So I've done my reviews for both sets of 20, because I'm sitting at like 40 trades this quarter. So I've done that review already, and I've done what I needed to with regards to my actual trading, in terms of like how much trades I've taken for the quarter. However, when it comes to reviewing trading, it's more than just reviewing the trades that you've taken. It's reviewing what have you put in your trading plan? What are your goals for the quarter? Did you achieve those goals? If you didn't, then you need to ask yourself, is the goals that you've actually set, is it too high, or is it unreachable? Or have you just simply been slacking? And at that point, that's when you really need to like stay your inadequacies. You need to look at yourself and your inadequacies nakedly and ask yourself, what's up? Like, have I been lacking because of something? Or is this goal just not big enough to me for me to actually follow through on that? And I feel like that's where most people don't really start questioning themselves based on what they've done. They'll say, okay, no, I've taken L's this quarter, this is where I'm at, or I've taken W's this quarter, this is where I'm at, and that's just that. I don't think that's the way things work. And this is like a question that I ask across the board, like, why did I achieve this thing, or why did I not achieve it? With regards to my trading, I've taken trades according to my plan. I've done everything according to the plan, just simply I didn't actually get the result. Can I shift that? Can I change my results? Yes, I can, based on the processes that I've put in place. Now, how do I then go about like changing the result? I base it or from the trades that I've taken. So if I see a consistent thing that is in my trading plan that is causing me to lose, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that thing out, or that component of my trading plan. I'm going to take it out and I'm going to shift it. So you're already making those adjustments to become a better trader. The questions would then be, do I follow the processes, and am I sticking or staying true to the process of becoming a profitable trader? How would you know what a profitable trader is? Listen to profitable traders on YouTube. There's multiple profitable traders that are out there. You can see the processes. Now, each person's process is different. More likely than not, if you have a person that's teaching you how to trade, and or you're in a group of traders that is trading the same way, you can compare your processes to people in that particular group, and you can ask yourself, am I doing this or am I doing that? If not, then why not? Does it not work for me? Because backtesting doesn't work for certain people, but it works for other people, right? That doesn't mean that you shouldn't backtest or you should cut it completely out. If it doesn't work for you, then what is the alternative? You should then forward test. Are you doing your forward testing? Are you reviewing your trades on a weekly basis, or reviewing what you've done in a weekly basis, and then also just checking, not necessarily making changes, but making sure that you're sticking to the plan and sticking to what you've planned out for that set of trades, right? And that's the questions that I ask myself. And I just tend to go, once I've done the high level goal view, then what I'll do is I'll go into the nitty gritty of my trading strategy, and I'll ask myself, what is causing me to win and what is causing me to lose? And a lot of people don't tend to do this. I've taken such a big step to the point where, or I've taken such a big step in terms of looking at the finer details. I've looked at the amount of days that I've won and the amount of days that I've lost, and I found that Thursday is one of the shittiest days in my trading plan. And so naturally, what do? You take Thursday out. Like, why would you keep on trading on a day if over the past 9 months you can see that you're continuously losing? If you've taken one W but you've lost damn near 10, 12 trades on that particular day, why would you not take it out? So I think your process of review becomes easier when you have the data, and you have data broken up into the places that you need it. You know which trading sessions you're looking at, you know which days you trade in, you know everything. So now what you can then do is start comparing your winning days to your losing days, and you actively make a plan going into the new quarter now to do things that keeps you winning and to extract the losing. And I know you're going to probably, the result of that would mean that you're probably going to trade less, which is perfectly fine. You're going to trade less and make more money. Isn't that the goal? Then trading more and losing more money. So I feel like it's just about weighing out exactly how you've gone about things, and setting markers in place throughout the quarter. So then when you get to the end of the quarter and you're doing your review and you can see exactly what has worked and what hasn't worked, you can then go ahead and remove what hasn't worked and continue with what has worked. And I also think that it's very important to at least allow yourself a quarter or two with a particular trading strategy. So if you have one strategy, you want to at least allow that thing 6 months to see how it performs. And in the first quarter, you're probably going to be back testing, you're going to be forward testing. And once you get those results, it might not be favorable, it might be very favorable. What you need to then do is just take those results and implement it in the live markets, whether it be on a challenge, whether it be in an actual live account. That's what you need to do. And then you also need to ask yourself, are you moving forward? Sometimes moving forward doesn't necessarily mean that you see the result within the markets, but you're moving forward mentally, you're moving forward with the processes that you put in place. Are you doing it more efficiently? And once those things are in place, I feel like it's just a matter of time before your results turn, and it's gonna become, you'll become more of a profitable trader. Then with regards to the rest of your life and all the other goals, I think it's very important to not just have blanket statements as goals. And that's the way that I always used to take, the route that I used to take with setting goals was always blanket statements. However, You need to detail your goals to a point where it's simple and easy to break down your yearly goal into a quarterly goal. And once you have your quarterly goals, you can easily assess yourself. And I've realized that when you work in corporate, they always ask you to do an analysis on yourself or to do some type of review on yourself before you actually go into a review with your manager and HR or with like one of the partners and HR. They ask you questions got to do with the work. And it's pretty simple. Like, do you feel like you've performed good in Excel? Do you feel like you've performed good in this and that? But those are the standards that they have set for you for that particular 6 month semester. And they ask you, did you do good? In your opinion, did you do good? And I think it's the same thing. Once you have a yearly goal and you've broken that thing down into a quarterly goal, for instance, my logbook, I want to be at 90% at the end of the year. When I came and the year turned over into 2024, when I started 2024, I understood that I needed to achieve 16.25% to get each quarter to get to the goal that I want to get to at the end of the year. And so that's pretty simple. 16.25% means 1.7% per week. If I don't do it in 1 week, or if I don't do my submissions per week, what I then know is I just need to achieve a certain amount for the month, or I can just do it all in 1 week and get the whole 16% in 1 week, because it is possible. What you can then do is you can assess yourself throughout the quarter as you move in. Did I do this on the weekly basis? No, I didn't. So now what I need to do is I need to increase my input this week because I didn't do it last week, right? And that's simply the way you need to go about it. And once you place numbers and figures on things, it's so simple. If you read a book and you want to read one book a month, what you need to do is divide that book's number of pages by the number of days that there is in that month, and then you'll be able to get how much pages you need to read in one particular day. And if you don't do it, then you need to ask yourself, why are you not doing it? But I'm saying this all to say that once you start quantifying things, it's easier to assess yourself, and it's easier to really be able to say, I didn't do that, and I didn't achieve my actual goal that I had for this quarter, because you had a number. But if you're just going to say, I need to submit logbook and I need to do this, I would have been able to say, oh no, I submitted 5%, but it's going to move the needle, yes, but it's not going to get me to a particular goal that I want to get to at the end of the year, or it's going to put me in a place where I'm compromised at the end of the year to now achieve my goal that I want to. So then now at the end of the year, I might need to do 50% in one quarter, or I need to read 4 or 5 books in one quarter. So that means I'm not going to have a social life. I'm not going to do anything else because I didn't really do, or I didn't quantify the number of books that I needed to read, but I knew for the year I wanted to read 12. So now I'm putting myself in a position where I'm not really better off to do or to have a balanced life necessarily. So once you have those numbers, it's easy to ask yourself, did I achieve this goal? If it's a yes, if it's a no, then if it's a yes, you can say, okay, how did I go about achieving this goal? You can ask yourself and take a look at your processes that you had in place, because there's a high chance that you can take those processes and add it to one of the areas that you had a goal for, but you didn't achieve, if it is relatable. But if it's not, and you didn't achieve the goal, then it's asking yourself, how do I get better? Before you even ask yourself, how did you get better, we go back to the question that I asked myself with trading. Stating yourself nakedly, stating your inadequacies nakedly, and you're asking yourself, why did I not get this? I think a big thing is people make goals based on what everybody else want for them and not what they want for them, and then they don't really achieve the goal. Like, there's this one thing that somebody said on the internet: if you wanted a six-pack, you'd have a six-pack. It's just that you don't want it enough. You like it, you don't want it. And so a lot of people want things that other people want for them, but when it comes to actually wanting it themselves, they don't want it, and so they don't do it. So you really need to ask yourself, do you want this enough for it to be a goal? Otherwise, scrap it. If you want it enough, then you need to start asking yourself, what do I do on my day-to-day in my day-to-day habits to get to this goal, and how do I change what I did in the first quarter in the second quarter to have myself reaching those goals. So those are the questions that I ask myself, and then I simply make notes on. And this is where journaling comes in, guys, and having data, not just in trading but in life in general. You have data on like why you eat a certain way or why you react a certain way to people. When you start journaling, you understand what how your sleep has an impact on your life. Like generally for me, if I don't sleep, I tend to eat a bit more because I don't know, I'm grumpy and I'm more hungry for some reason. But the minute I start sleeping 7 to 8 hours a day, my day feels fine. I can fast. I can do all the processes and the things that I want to do to achieve the greater goal of becoming healthier and becoming a better trader too and a better person. So it's those types of questions that you need to ask yourself. And also it's just being comfortable with sometimes not achieving stuff, but then asking yourself, why did I not achieve it? And stop being, sorry for my word, but stop acting like a bitch when it comes to like not achieving things. Oh, I didn't do this just because of that. No, bro, you didn't do it because you were pussying out. Like that's the truth of the matter. Like you didn't do it because either you didn't want to or because it was too hard. Why was it too hard? Because you're pussying out, bro. Like I feel like people just in general, women and men, like we give ourselves because it's ourselves. We'll give ourselves off. But the minute it's at work or like something needs to get done for somebody else, you you get it done so quickly. You put in the overtime. You put in time before work, time after work to get that particular project done. You do everything that you need to do in order to get that thing done on time. But when it comes to yourself, it's like you can neglect yourself. Why? Why are you not as important to yourself as everything else? And so those are the types of questions that you really need to ask yourself, and you really need to be able to answer. And once you're able to answer those things, you'll then be able to determine what changes you need to make to achieve those goals in the next quarter. And the good thing is you have time to do it. It's just that you need to really know that you want to do it. And if you want to do it, then you can keep it as a goal. If you don't want to do it and you're determined based on the past 3 months or 90 days that you didn't necessarily want to do it, then it's fine too. Just scratch that goal and say it's not something that I'm really interested in. And you're wasting less time trying to focus on something that you're not really interested in. Maybe it's interest that was pushed on you through social media. Maybe it's interest that was pushed on you through family or friends or something like that. But you tried it, it didn't work. It's fine. You're being honest with yourself. And that's the most important thing about a quarterly review or even a yearly review. The most important thing is being honest with yourself about where you at and how you're going to change it. So yeah, guys, that's what I think. Sam, what do you think about just a quick wrap up on how you do your quarterly review and what questions you ask yourself when you're going through your quarterly review, bro?
What's up, bro? Yeah. So thanks for that. To be honest, very much similar. I think it starts, and it's something I said in the weekly review, where it's where clarity precedes mastery is what I said. And like you're saying, it really starts with those goals that you set for yourself, and more so asking those important questions, like you mentioned, like, is this goal too big for me? Because that may be the case. You need to become comfortable with kind of being very brutally honest with yourself when you're evaluating the things that you have to do to achieve certain things. Because if you live a life where you have certain commitments that don't allow you to, work certain hours of the day or commit to certain things, then that's just something you have to accept and navigate the goals that you set for yourself, around that. Or, some people may just not want to be $1 million traders or $2 million traders. Having $100,000 or $200,000 account will, provide for you more than enough to live a comfortable life. And some people just want that. So it's that thing of, do you like the idea of achieving the goal, or do you want to actually achieve the goal? And are you willing to do what it takes? And if you have decided all those things, then yeah, commit to it. Because if you fall short, then it's not because you couldn't achieve it, because nothing's really impossible. Like Marcia was saying, you just didn't want it to. And I think it's more of that I should probably start incorporating into the quarterly reviews, because it's a lot of, on my end, I think looking at the data, trying to get tweaks out of what my performance has been. And yes, I mean, obviously I do look at the bigger picture, because, your quarterly point allows you to zoom out a bit and figure out whether you're still on track to achieving certain things. But I hadn't thought of the idea of, geez, when I get to the end of the quarter, it might be on the table that there's a goal that I should consider, scratching out of it, because it just doesn't align with, the path that I'm on. So yeah, I think zooming out and looking at the bigger picture, as well as then getting down into the details. And I like what you said around that, in terms of quantifying, your goals, because that makes it easier to assess your performance. And it's just like so tried and tested. What you can't measure, you can't improve. And you allow yourself to be more honest with yourself in the process as well, when you can measure all these things out. So it's a lot of that. And then I think the key part is, and something I'm trying to still be patient with myself with, is even once you have the data, you've done the review, and you see where the problem areas are, it takes time between figuring out what the improvements are and actually implementing the improvements into your plan. Like, there's actually a transition period that, you guys should allow, that I'm starting to allow myself to do that, because you obviously operate in a certain way, and, you're either comfortable with that or it's what you're used to. So to make a change from that, or to deviate from that, is going to have to be a conscious decision that you make every single time you do the thing that you're trying to improve. And that's not going to be as easy. It's easier said than done. So give yourselves time to do that. That's something that I'm working on a lot. I think just shortening the time between figuring out what I need to do to improve my results and doing it consistently. But yeah, that's kind of, I think, an important part of the process, is implementing the data, not just building data for the sake of it. How is it actually going to help you improve going forward? And yeah, I think you knocked that question out the park, bro. And I hope that a lot of value that all you guys take away from this, because it is the end of the quarter. We're 3 months into the year now. It's flown by, but and to be honest, at the same time, there's still a lot of time this year to do a lot and achieve a lot on your list. But yeah, if you're feeling like you maybe haven't gotten the best start to the year, there is still time. But at the same time, yeah, just get your head in it and let's go. Thank you for joining us for another episode of this Q&A on the Modern Day Trader channel. And again, if you haven't seen some of the other stuff we post in terms of our prop firm challenge journeys, or even the weekly analysis, then check that out. The links will be somewhere above. And we'll see you guys in the next video.